Hi you guys, and welcome to Rarely Slayed. I am Demetria, a licensed cosmetologist, and on this channel I talk about beauty, motherhood, and faith content. If you are into those things, please make sure you like and subscribe to this channel so you can be notified every time I release a video. So today's video falls in the motherhood category. I am 28 and 1 day pregnant. 28 weeks and 1 day pregnant today. So that means I am in my 3rd trimester. Yay! The last stretch. I'm so ready to meet my baby girl. If you have not watched my gender reveal / our wives tales true, go check out that video. I'll link it up here. And that's also where I wore this pink shirt today for my baby girl. But yeah, so since I've completed my 2nd trimester, I wanted to share with you guys the symptoms that I faced in the 2nd trimester. I've also done another video of my 1st trimester symptoms. I'll link that here so you can check that out as well. So for those of you who don't know, the 2nd trimester starts at week 14 and goes all the way to week 27. So I'm going to start off with week 14. At week 14, I began to develop a stuffy / runny nose. Now my nose doesn't run as much, but at night my nose does stop up every night from week 14 until now. Week 15, I finally started to get some relief from nausea. If you watch my 1st trimester symptom videos, you'll see that I had nausea. I never vomited, but I would be nauseous. And so in week 15, I started to get a little bit of relief, and I found that by eating smaller portions. So my portion size is significantly smaller than what it was pre-pregnancy, so I have to eat smaller portions more frequently so that I won't feel sick. And even now, like, I have to stop myself at a certain point so that I won't feel like the indigestion, like the food is just sitting right here. So that helped with that. Week 16 is when I started to feel the pressure of baby on my bladder. My bladder would be full. Like, I would go use the bathroom, and then I'm like, I feel like I need to use the bathroom again. And even though she was 16 weeks, my baby is measuring bigger for her age. But some people would consider 16 weeks early to be feeling that, but I would feel the pressure of a full bladder. I also started feeling her move at 16 weeks. I remember the doctors, I visited a nurse practitioner. She was like, you'll feel little flutters and you'll just know. And I was like, how will I know? You know, some people say it feels like gas, and some people say it feels like this, XYZ. But when I felt it, I knew it was her. And I've been feeling her every day since. Week 17 is when I started to develop the linea nigra, I believe that's how you say it, which is, that's not when I started to develop it. That's when I noticed it. I have the linea nigra on my stomach. It's all the way down my stomach. I know some people have it just on the bottom half, but I have it from my chest all the way down to the bottom of my abdomen. Week 17 is also when I started to get some of my appetite back, because if you watch my 1st symptoms video, you will see that I had like a loss of appetite. I didn't want to eat much. Like, I was kind of going through it a little bit. But this week is when I started to get my appetite back, and I was actually becoming hungry and wanting to eat food because I was so hungry. Week 18, I developed extreme back pain. Extreme to the point where I had to go to the emergency room. When I went there, thank God nothing was wrong, but it was just hurting so bad. They asked me on the level 1 to 10 what was my pain level, and it was like a 6. And it was like, it wasn't Braxton Hicks because it wasn't giving up. Like, I believe I could have dealt with it if it was just hurting a little bit and then it eased away for a few minutes and then hurt again. But it was just like constantly hurting. Put a heating pad on. I didn't get any sleep that night. But when I went to the emergency room, they couldn't find anything. All my tests came back well. They said it probably was just the uterus expanding, causing some growing pains. I started to feel heartburn. I can't remember what I ate, but it was something that I ate that gave me heartburn that week as well. Week 19, I dealt with some sneezing / like tingling in my nose, and that could be allergy related. I'm not for sure, but I just documented it anyway. I also had headache and pressure. Again, could have been allergy related, but could have been pregnancy related. I don't know. Stuffy and runny nose, again, same thing. And then I also had an increase in like burping. So I would burp more. Like this is the most I've ever burped ever. And I definitely know it's pregnancy because I usually have gas from the other end. And since being pregnant, I just burp a lot. Week 20, I started dealing with indigestion like after meals. So I would eat and then the food would feel like it was sitting like right here, like it wasn't going down. So again, that was just further confirmation that I need to eat smaller meals. Sometimes I would be greedy and want to eat a lot more than what I should at one time, but I really have to cut my meals down to a smaller portion now so that I won't be uncomfortable after a certain point. I also felt a little bit of cramping during week 20. Not much, but just a little. And I feel like baby got way more active during week 20. Like I was starting to feel her a little bit more. And that's also when we went for our anatomy scan. And the day of our anatomy scan, she was ready. I think she knew that we were about to find out that she was a little girl, and she was just excited that day. Even when we got the scan, like I felt so bad for the ultrasound tech. Every time she would try to find her, she would move, and she's like that all the time now. Like she will not sit still for anybody. Try to find her heartbeat, try to find her, she is moving. So I don't know if she thinks it's a game and it's funny, or she just doesn't want to be bothered. Week 21, I started noticing my feet were swelling a little bit. Not terribly bad or puffy where they can't fit into my shoes, but I noticed that they weren't the size that they usually were. I also started feeling pregnant, so if that makes any sense, like I felt bigger, like I feel like my stomach kind of got bigger overnight, and just like clothes weren't fitting like that, so I just felt like a pregnant lady. Up until that point, like I didn't really feel that pregnant, but week 21 I was like, okay, definitely pregnant. I was starting to get even more of an appetite to the point where sometimes in the middle of the night I would have to wake up and get a snack. I still have to do that now. If I eat dinner a little too early in the middle of the night, I have to wake up and get a light snack because I won't be able to go to sleep until my stomach is settled from the hunger, so that I can go back to sleep. I also started to develop a hip pain, like a sciatic hip pain. Oh my gosh. It developed that week and it kept going for a while. Like it's a pain like no other. I felt it on my right side, just in my hip and like my groin area and maybe a little bit of my lower back, and it would come and go all day, that pain. So week 22, I just noted symptoms that I've already said before: pressure on the bladder and back pain. I didn't have anything for weeks 23 or 24. So week 25, I started urinating even more frequently. Like I will go to the bathroom like 4 to 5 times in the middle of the night now. Like it's no joke. Baby is putting pressure on this bladder, and it's real. Her kicks also became stronger than what they were before. I think they were strong enough to the point where I could start to see her from the outside at this point. And I believe, is that when my husband felt her? I thought I documented this, but apparently I did not put it in my notes. But I think that's around the time when he could start to feel her as well. During week 26, my hip pain finally subsided, and I'm so thankful for that because it was very uncomfortable. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this for the rest of my pregnancy, but it subsided, and I think it was because I started like being mindful of how I got up out of the bed. So I watched this one video and the lady said, get up out of the bed and get in the bed like a mermaid. So like put your feet together when you're getting in and out of the bed, in the car, and things like that. And since I've done that, I haven't felt any hip pain, honestly, in about 2 weeks. Week 27, it started getting more and more uncomfortable for me to sleep. It's hard for me to find positions that are comfortable. So that this is life now. I also noticed my gums were bleeding more than usual. Like, you know, sometimes you brush your teeth, it's like a little blood here and there. But like last week I had brushed my teeth and it was like a lot coming from my gums. But that is common with pregnancy. And And so I also started to notice my hands swelling a little bit. I can still fit my wedding ring on and off, but I'm trying to get me a silicone band so I won't get stuck in my wedding ring. And then my feet, like before they would swell a little bit, then they would go down, but now they're at a constant, like, I guess, stage of retaining water. Not a lot, just a little bit. I can tell my feet aren't normal. Still, my feet can fit in my shoes, my normal shoes. But I do notice that if I'm on my feet for extended periods of time, they will swell a little bit more than usual. So we know it would not be an update video if I did not show you a little belly action. Here's just a quick little side view of what my stomach is looking like at 28 weeks. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video, that it helped give you some insight on what to expect in your second trimester, or you can just relate or sympathize and empathize with what I've been through. I hope that this video turns out good because I feel like I stumbled over a lot of stuff during recording. But anywho, thank you again for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you're following me on Instagram and Facebook because I'm very interactive there as well. So until next time, continue to slay. Bye.